Hello everyone, it's Stormy Strike here, and in this video I'm going to be giving my thoughts about the reveal of the BreyerFest 2023 theme, and some guesses regarding what kind of models we might see at BreyerFest 2023. As of making this video, all that has been revealed so far for BreyerFest 2023 is the theme name, Driving Forward, a logo for it, and the dates, which are July 14th through 16th. I don't really have any strong feelings towards this theme so far. I'm not crazy for it, but I also definitely don't dislike it. I'd say I like this theme. I'm not as excited about it as I have been for some previous BreyerFest themes, but I do think it's neat and I think it has a lot of potential. I think we can assume that this theme is going to encompass all types and forms of horse driving, from racing with pacers to draft horses pulling equipment on a farm, to horse-drawn carriages and sleighs, to driving in the past, such as pulling covered wagons in the Old West, or chariot races in Rome. There's also the possibility that maybe the theme has some meaning beyond actual horse driving, and maybe the motto of driving forward could be like a motivational message, kind of similar to moving forward or just keep swimming. Of course, I think the main focus of this theme will be the real horse driving, but I could see them sprinkling in some other meanings possibly to the theme beyond just the obvious horses pulling carriages and things. This theme can also pretty easily encompass like every horse breed pretty much, because a lot of horse breeds have been used for different forms of driving. As already said, of course, standardbreds are known for doing pacing races. Draft horses are very well known for being used for pulling heavy things. While breeds like that might come to the minds of some people right away, there are also light breeds and warm bloods and ponies and miniatures, even other equines like donkeys and mules. As far as I know, technically any breed of horse can be trained to drive, so there's really not a limit on what kind of models and horses we will see at BreyerFest 2023. That being said, I thought it would still be fun in this video to guess some of the molds and types of models that might be used at BreyerFest next year. Let's first talk about the celebration horse. Obviously, the celebration horse, like the actual horse, not just the model, is going to be some kind of horse that's going to be known for driving of some kind. Probably some kind of competitive driving, I imagine, as usually the celebration horse does seem to often have some sort of accolades in the world of competition. The question is what kind of driving exactly, and really who knows, because again, there are a lot of possibilities. I know there is already some guessing that maybe the new standardbred mold in the Premier Club will be the celebration model, and the celebration horse will be a standardbred. I think this could very well be possible. In some ways it seems a little too obvious, but you know, it could happen. I also wouldn't necessarily say the mold is too new, because a similar instance did happen with Esprit being the 2011 celebration model, even though the mold had only been released the year before. There is also, of course, the possibility that Breyer could make a new mold for the celebration model, but I kind of doubt it since they just did one for this year in 2022. I think it'd be more likely that in the next couple years or so, they'll make another new mold for the celebration model. Aside from the new standardbred mold, I could see them using a variety of other molds for the celebration model, like a draft horse, perhaps on the Shenandoah or Othello or Wixom mold. It could be a warm blood on a mold like Strapless, or a light breed like Troubadour or the National Show Horse. I know some of those molds I just mentioned have already been celebration models in the past, but Breyer has used the same mold as a celebration horse before, so it's possible they could use the same one again. With how many new traditional scale molds Breyer makes every year now, they might try harder to avoid using the same molds as a celebration model again, but keep in mind that the owner of the celebration horse also gets a say in what mold they think best represents their horse, so it is still completely possible that a previous celebration horse mold could be used again in 2023. For the event's stablemates, I'm guessing they'll be realistic colored models, showcasing a variety of different horse breeds, kind of like how they did this year. Maybe we'll see a drafter, and a pony, and a warm blood, and then a light breed. Let's next talk a bit about special runs. We will probably see at least 1 or 2 new Premier Club molds used as special runs, as that has been the trend these past several years of BreyerFest. I'm going to speculate that we will see the Zafira mold as a special run, and whatever the third release for the Premier Club this year is. If the new Standardbred mold is not the Celebration model, then I would expect that we would see that one as one of the special runs too. Or possibly a store special, aka limited edition. Let's go on an opposite route of talking about new molds and instead talk about what mold I'm gonna guess the vintage special run will be. I think it could very well be the old Pacer, although whether or not Breyer would want to use that one if they also use the new pacing mold could be up for debate. Like, maybe the fact that these two molds are kind of a little too similar, I don't know if they'd use them, but at the same time, it's kind of an interesting glow-up of the old Pacer compared to the new one. I could also see them using a mold like Gem Twist or Brown Sunshine, which are both not super old molds, but are considered vintage now, and could be good for some driving representation, perhaps. They could also very well use some much older but more iconic molds, like the 5-Gator or the Clydesdale Stallion. Let's go on to the non-equine special run. Because of the theme, I think it's very highly likely that we will see a bovine again, and we know how much Breyer does like to use the bovine molds. I'm thinking we'll see a bovine mold that we haven't seen released in a long time though, like the Walking Black Angus Bull or the Walking Hereford Bull. I think the Brahma Bull is also a strong possibility, even though it was used in BreyerFest 2017. I think enough time has passed that they could use that mold again. As for non-bovine molds, I think they could possibly use the elk. I know they also used the elk in 2018, but again, I think enough time has kind of passed that they might use him. I also can't help but think of what if they did the elk like one of Santa's reindeer? Because pulling a magical sleigh is technically driving, right? Now, I of course can't do this video without talking about the Decorator special run model. Although I'm not going to be talking about the mold for this one, instead I'm just going to talk about what color and design it could be, because honestly I have no clue on what mold. It could be anything. And even for color, I actually don't have a whole lot of ideas on this one. There is nothing that comes to my mind immediately related to driving to have done on a Decorator, other than perhaps maybe some kind of driving scene done up on a model, either as decals or maybe just a silhouette of a driving horse. There's also the very well possibility that they do a Decorator that doesn't really have anything to do with the theme and is just a pretty Decorator, which I would be completely fine with. If they just do a pretty colorful clearwear model again like they did with Banner or Gala or Carnival, I would very happily throw my money at it. Regardless of whether or not it fits the theme, as long as it's a nice looking Decorator, I'm gonna want it. Since we had a Mare in Full special run set for 2022, we can assume that there won't be a Mare in Full special run for next year. As for the surprise model, that is one that could have a ton of possibilities because of the theme. As I already said, they can really use any horse breed for this theme, so possibilities are kind of endless here. I am, however, already guessing that it probably won't be a drafty type horse because of the 2022 surprise model. It is a little hard with the Cleveland Bay mold since it's a mold that sort of falls into 2 breed type categories. So of the 2 breed types of warm blood or draft, I think it's more likely that a draft type horse would be ruled out for 2023 of the surprise over a sport or warm blood type horse. Beyond that, right now the possibilities for the surprise are just far too vast for me to go in depth in further right now, so I'll have to wait and talk about that until closer to BreyerFest next year. For limited edition models, we'll surely see 2 or 3 traditional scale portrait models of the horses that will be there, and they'll have some sort of connection to driving in some way. Perhaps we'll see like a pony, a warm blood, and a draft horse, or something along those lines. For the limited edition Decorator Classic or Freedom Scale model, I again have no idea what they would do for it, honestly. I've heard a few people speculate that they might do something with race cars, which I wouldn't rule out, but they did also do that in 2018 a bit with the Off to the Races theme, so I don't know if they would do that again so soon or not, but you know, it's a possibility. Actually going off script here, but it would be kind of cool if they did something like they did with Caves of Lasaux back in 2015, and did kind of a similar design to that, but instead used like old chariot racing or something on a model. That would be pretty cool looking. For the limited edition Stablemate, I almost wonder if they would do something like they did in 2018, and have a special little mold with molded on carriage tack or something along those lines. I think that could be kind of neat. For the plush, I imagine they would have to do a horse with some kind of driving tack on it. At least maybe a cute little bridle with blinkers on it. I think that would be so adorable. I really hope they do something like that for the plush. For the crystal model, I have no idea. It could be pretty much anything. I know they have done a pacer as a crystal model before, so I doubt they would do that again, but you know, who knows. For the Best of BreyerFest Stablemate set, again, it could pretty much be anything as long as it's not based on past BreyerFest models they've already done. For Raffle models, I bet one of them will be on a newer Premier Club mold, and then maybe the other one will be on a little bit older of a mold, or maybe even a vintage mold. The Raffle models are another one where they could really do anything, so who knows what they would do for that. When it comes to the names of the different BreyerFest 2023 models, aside from the portrait models, we can expect that they'll all have names that relate in different ways to the theme. I'm guessing that there will be at least one model named after some technical thing specific to driving, like a type of carriage or cart, or maybe a special piece of driving tack, or maybe some sort of phrase or saying used in driving. I honestly don't know a whole lot about driving, so I don't have a huge idea on what kind of names they'd use, beyond just, I think they'll do something technical along that line, at least for a few models maybe. I'm sure they will probably come up with plenty of unique and interesting names. And now I believe that's kind of pretty much it for me to guess about the BreyerFest 2023 models. I know there's probably some I missed in there, but I think that's just kind of a general overview of the different types of models. And I'll of course do new videos talking about BreyerFest 2023 later on when we get more information and model reveals and all that fun stuff. I am planning on going to in-person BreyerFest again next year, and once again selling out of my Clarion room. Before you go, let me know in the comments down below any of your guesses or predictions for BreyerFest 2023 models. And keep your eyes out for my BreyerFest 2022 experience and haul videos, which will be coming out within the next several weeks. Thank you for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!